Friday morning on the 4th week of January, episode 4 of my video log series, and I've just missed the bin men. Oh dear. Welcome to episode 4. If you've stuck with me this long, thank you very much. I'm getting sick to death of the post-COVID brain farts that I'm getting all the time. Apparently, having a foggy brain memory is a symptom of COVID and long COVID and all this kind of stuff. And it's only been about 4 weeks since I got COVID, and my brain, I just find myself forgetting everything, forgetting the simple things. A good example is last week at some point I did a short stream on, I was animating on After Effects, and I wanted to make a short video for the shop's social media page advertising these beers that had come in for the foot cancer beer project. And basically all these cans that sell, there's like a certain amount of it that goes towards the Teenage Cancer Trust. You know what, I really want to make a nice advert that, you know, people see it and they watch it and they want to go and buy them and clear the shelves and whatever. And the simple thing that I had to do was just mask out these cans, and I sat there and I'm looking at it, I'm like, it's something that I've done 1,000 times over the last 7 years that I've been animating. Yet for some reason my brain just looked at it and thought, what? How do I do this? How do I mask? Sit, pen tool, done, animate the mask. But I looked at it and I was like, and my brain just went. And it's these little things that you do passively that I just keep forgetting all the time. Using the card reader at work, put the number in, press enter, contactless. I'm putting the number in, I'm thinking, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, and my brain's just gone. I'm forgetting little things all the time. It's really starting to wind me up. Anyway, so I'm filming this Friday morning, probably 2 days ago, and I've just missed the bin men for the first time since I moved in. And it is only the brown bin, so it's not the worst thing in the world. So in Barnsley, the brown bin is for things like plastic bottles. So the brown bin in Barnsley is for things like plastic bottles, glass containers, and cans. And if you know anything about me, I drink a lot of craft beer. My missus likes the odd glass of wine, and we both like a rum every now and again. Speaking of craft beer, I was lucky enough to try this year's Putty 2021. It's a shame it's in a can. A couple of years ago, me and my pal went through to Brudenell Social Club in Leeds, and they had this on tap, and they were selling it way cheaper than anywhere else in the country. So originally we drove through just to try it, just to have 1/3, and then he was driving back, and it was that nice. We ended up having like 4 or 5 pints of it, and then we went into Leeds, and then the rest is just foggy memory. This is essentially a beer that came out at a Northern Monk craft beer festival called Hop City quite a few years back, and it won like the best beer of the festival and all that. And ever since then, there's been so much hype around it, and everybody just, it's in the craft beer scene, it's like gold dust, and nobody can get their hands on it. But I'm lucky enough to. So the brown bin is full, and we now have to go 2 weeks before we can get it taken away. So does that mean 2 weeks of not using cans and things, or do we just take bags and then take them to the skip recycling centre place? I don't know. Adulting is hard. This week's mug is this little one, and God, it's beautiful. Look at it. I think I got it from Morrison's or something like that, about 4 or 5 quid a couple of years back, and it's just, whoa, beautiful. So every week I'm going to try and have a different mug. I've got a lot of mugs. I've got a slight obsession, brain farts. It's going to get to a point in a few months where I've actually run out of mugs, and I'm thinking, this is a bad idea. Anyway, it's been a strange week. It's been a really strange week. If you remember, last week I mentioned that my calendar was absolutely blank and I had nothing on. And it's funny how things just happen. And basically I keep a notepad on my phone, and every time something happens I think is worth talking about, I'll just log it. And then Friday morning comes by and I'll just talk about it. And like last week's episode, I thought it was going to be really tacky. I filmed it all, I rushed it a lot, I didn't have a lot of time, and before I knew it, it was 11:30 and I had to leave, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this week's episode is going to suck ass. And then obviously when I was editing and I watched it back, it was it was quite decent. I'm thinking, oh, it's all right, that. Hopefully people will like it. So yeah, on Saturday last week, it was my friend's 30th birthday, and we went to a place in town which serves all-you-can-eat meat. I like my meat, a lot of it. And there was about 15 of us or something like that. And we're all sat around this big table and we're absolutely destroying all this food. And basically, they've got an area where there's like all different things like beef stroganoff and chips. I don't know why I started with beef stroganoff. Salads, cheeses, breads, all that kind of stuff. And then basically they give you all that to kind of fill you up. So you only have a little bit of meat. And basically I like to get a tiny bit of garlic mushrooms, one little piece of bread, and then everything else is just meat. So they're coming round, they're giving Brazilian steak, sausage, chili beef, garlic steak. Oh, when they bring that fillet steak out, man, it comes in these little cubes. And it is like, it puts me two down. I'm like, keep it coming, mate, keep it coming. All you can eat, boys. I'm having as much as I can consume. Oh, and it was just so good. But the meat sweats you get afterwards, we're all just sat there like... Right before the meal, I turned up about 25 minutes early, and obviously no one was at the restaurant, I could see, so I went across the road to a pub and I had 2 pints of this vanilla stout on hand-pulled cask, which if you've ever had stout on cask, you'll know that it is like dessert. It just sets in your stomach so heavy, and this particular one was like, it was like vanilla ice cream. It was called Bad Kitty by Brass Castle. It's alright, it's like 5%, it's steady away, but I had 2 because I, half an hour to kill. And I was already quite full before I went to the restaurant, but god damn it, I still had my money's worth. After that, I went home and my little one was staying over for the night. And it was a really special evening. We watched Lilo and Stitch, the first movie, and when I was young, I was obsessed with Lilo and Stitch and the TV series and all the films. I love the whole concept of this alien universe and these different experiments coming down and things. And I'm sat there with Jess and my daughter, and we're just sat on the sofa, we're watching this film, and I'm looking at it, and I'm tearing up every 5 minutes. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know whether it was this nostalgia or I'm just a big soft bastard. I'm sat there tearing up and looking over at my daughter, and she's just like, she's 12. She's at an age where things like that can, make her sob a little bit, but she just sat there like, ooh, this is good. And I'm like, bloody hell. Ohana means family. Nobody gets left behind or forgotten. My God, it's such a good film. Now the next 20,000 times that she comes round, we're going to be tanning all the films. We're going to be watching all the TV series. We're going to have a good time. Can't wait. On Tuesday, an old pal of mine came round. It's a friend that I went to school with, went to college with, and after like uni and then things like that, we kind of separated a little bit. The only time I usually meet him is when we go to UK Tech Fest, which is a small technical metal festival in Newark-on-Trent. Amazing, this year's lineup. Oh. And he came around to my house just for a bit of a catch-up. We were talking on Messenger, seeing how each other's doing. I've only moved down the road from him, so I thought, just come and have a look at the house, we'll have a natter and see how you're doing. And we used to play a lot of Guitar Hero when we were young, so we put... So we played some Clone Hero, played some bangers, played some really terrible Korean metal music. It was strange. But we had a good laugh. And we were, at one point we were sat downstairs in the kitchen, having some coffee. What? We were talking about how long it was since we went to school and things like that. And it was 15 years, and I'm nearly 30. So I left school half my life ago. And we got so mangy about it. I'm thinking, we were just talking about that we're old, man. We're 30 and life's just, it's so depressing. And I think since then, I've just felt so down. There's some people that really don't give a shit about age. It's just a number, it is what it is. But to me, it's, if I'm going to live while I'm let's say 80, I'm quite a chunk through it. And I don't really feel like I've done a lot. And it really... Man, it really, really bothers me. Anyway, stop it. At one point, he went up to the toilet, and then I thought I'd put some music on. I've got one of those little Google mini speakers on top of the fridge, so I'm stood there shouting, "Okay, Google, play songs by Kardashev," and then the thing's not listening to me, and then he's coming down.
All right, Beyond Sun and Moon by Kardashev on Spotify.
Not you. No. My bad. I have my phone in front of me for my notes about what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm talking to the speaker and I'm saying Google. Just before I managed to say something, Nathan sneaked behind me and he said to the thing, give me a daily random animal fact at 3 a.m. And she's like, all right, I'll give you a daily animal fact at 3 a.m. And I'm thinking, what? Because sometimes we like to sleep on sofa and things like that, you know, I'm watching telly and I'm thinking we're going to be laying there and we're just going to all of a sudden hear this like giraffe with wah. I'm thinking, oh my God, how do I turn this off? So I'm there, okay, Google, cancel the reminder for 3 a.m. And she's like, sorry, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, all right, the thing that was set for 3 a.m., can you please cancel it? And she's like, sorry, I don't know what. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? This is going to make, I can't cancel it. What? How? I'm going to have to chuck the bloody thing out a window. We're absolutely wetting ourselves, but at the same time, I'm thinking, God, this is going to be annoying. So after he's gone, I spend a good like 40 minutes talking to this stupid thing, trying to be as clear as, asking it what my daily reminders are, asking it about anything, asking it about facts that I've got set up, daily reminders and things like that. She just ain't got a clue what I'm talking about. I logged onto my phone and I logged into the Google Home app and I managed to cancel it from there. So that's good at least. No random 3 a.m. animal facts. A couple of episodes ago, I mentioned a little walk that me and my missus did, like a triangle of places. And we did a slightly different route, but we kind of did the same thing in the aims to go to the restaurant and get there before it shuts and eat food this time. Because last time we obviously missed the cutoff by minus 15 minutes apparently. And this time we did this nice walk. We're walking for about an hour and a bit. And we stopped off at a couple of pubs. We got there and the website and menu said serving until 8:45. Serving until 8:45. Serving until 8:45. And we get there at 8:40. And they stop serving. And it absolutely just... man, it does my head in. And the pub was quite full. There was a lot of people there. So there was no like, oh, it's really empty, so we'll close early. It was, you know, it was busy. Me and Jess were talking about it, and it's like, do people mean different things by serving until? Do they mean that they're bringing food out until 8:45 and then they stop? So there's actually stop taking orders at like 8. I don't understand. So we were talking about it, like, if it says serving until 8:45, then I think they should be taking orders until that time and then it's cut off. But apparently different people have different opinions. I would like some universal clarification. Oh, that's got me right angry. Anyway, I just want to know, because am I understanding it wrong? It's frustrating. To me, that's like having a shop that says we're open 8. Yeah, you go into the shop, it's open, but you can't buy anything because they stopped selling stuff at 7:30. It's the thing. It says the thing and the time, so it just makes no sense. Anyway, enough of that. We're going to try again next week and hopefully get some food at some point. Speaking of food, the other day I had a packet of beef jerky, and it's one of them things that I'll only really eat when I'm starving or pissed. And the last time I remember eating a packet was when I was working for the council. One of those things I mentioned on episode 1, I think it were. And I used to eat snacks while I was driving to work. So I'd go from Barnsley across to A1, down to Donny Centre and across. And while I was driving down A1, I'd have a packet of snacks on the passenger seat. And I kind of just eat stuff as I was driving to work. And I remember eating this packet of... genuinely forgot what they were called. I'm sick of this. My brain doesn't work, man. Beef jerky. I kind of just pour the entire packet in my mouth while I'm driving and chew it for a mile and then swallow it. And then I pull up at the centre where we were working and I'm thinking, shit, I didn't check for the little silicone packet thing, which is like a oxygen absorber thing. And it says in massive letters, do not eat, do not eat. I pull up at work and I'm sat there thinking, oh my God, this is the day I die. Do I force myself to be sick? Do I ring doctors? Do I ring 111? What do I do? I'm thinking shit. So I start Googling everything, thinking, oh my God, I've ate the packet out of the thing. What do I do? I'm quite trembly at this point. I'm thinking, my God, what if I get seriously ill from this? I'm thinking, surely, I know it says do not eat, but surely someone in the history of ever has eaten one on accident. So I Google everything, and I see these forums, and people have done it, and they've been fine. And most cases, it's harmless, apparently. Hair in my coffee. Anyway, yesterday was quite eventful. So I did a little shift at the shop, came home, and then my brother came to fit me some Ethernet ports in the house. So I've now got one there in the master bedroom, which goes straight down to living room where router is and all that stuff. And it looks nice and tidy, so thank you, Bok, much appreciated. Jess's dad also came to fit our new dishwasher, because I think it's an integrated one, you know, that goes into the cupboard and it's like there. And I think it was a little bit beyond my capabilities at this stage, and I wanted it to be right. I'd made a pact with myself on Tuesday that I'm never washing a pot again for the rest of my life. I don't mind rinsing it, but no, I'm past that shit. For years while we were living at Jess's house, I never washed a pot. When I'm a flat, I never washed a pot because I had a dishwasher. It's not happening. I'm not doing it. Nope. Life's too short to spend it washing bloody dishes. Anyway, so I think I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So I'm just going to buy a dishwasher and I measure it all up. It's all good. It'll fit. So in between our washing machine and the fridge, we have a spare unit, which has just got crisps and all that kind of shit in it. So we spend the day smashing through it, clearing it all out, emptying it out. There's some bits at the back, we get rid of it all. And plumb the dishwasher in. It's all working, mega. So that's it, job done. So after I finish this, I'm gonna go and fill it up and I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna be really happy. So that's one area in my life that has got significantly better because I don't like pots, never have done. It's made things a lot easier as well because in like normal relationships, one person washes and the other person cleans. Well, I will happily clean up now every single time because I can just move them from one place into a dishwasher and put them away. I'm absolutely fine with that. That's a good trade-off for some food. And vice versa, if I'm going to cook, you know, make stuff, she can just chuck them in. The thing that's not good, however, is that last week, if you remember, I was talking about the delivery men and how careful they had to be with my floor because it rips really easy. We get the washing machine back in, we get the dishwasher in. There was only one socket behind all this stuff, so we've got like an extension thing put in. And now the fridge wire goes through the wall and then everything's powered there. And as we've put the fridge back, massive tear. Absolutely horrendous. It's like that long, massive tear. So I'm thinking about just giving up. So I can finish off this episode with the ski trip. When me and Jess had only been together about 3 months or so, we went to Bulgaria. So I managed to get these flights for £6 each way. And basically you got like a hand luggage and then a handbag thing to take on. And the flight is at like 2 in the morning or something like that. On the east coast, there's like the beach destinations, you know, all the tourism, stuff like that. And on the other side of the country, which is really far west, there's Sofia, which is where we went, the capital city. So to get these crazy holidays, we used to go on Skyscanner. Where it said from, you'd put UK, so it was any airport. And then it said to, you'd put anywhere. And then it'd say month, and you could just press cheapest month. And then it would basically just search all the flights for every airliner and bring you the cheapest option. And in like 3 weeks' time, there was a flight to Bulgaria for £6. I'm thinking, wee. And then a return for £6 of like 4 days later. So we just went for it. And and I remember doing some Googling and like looking at around Sofia and seeing what's there. And there were these mountains not far away from the city centre, Vitosha Mountains, I think it's called. So I thought, sweet, we can do that. You know, if Bulgaria is like a UK tourist destination, then surely like everyone speaks English. Huh. So we got to the city centre and we stopped in a travel lodge. It was really nice, absolutely cheap as well. Everything in that country was cheap. Beer was like 80p a pint. We were going into these like big fancy restaurants and having full meals, prosecco and all this stuff, and it was costing like 15 quid. It was just crazy. So on like the second day, we went skiing. So we got a taxi for like 20 minutes from our hotel to the bottom of Vitosha Mountain, and then you have to do so many like lifts up the mountain and things like that. So at the bottom, we get to this place where you basically get fitted for your skis and things like that, and no one speaks an absolute word of English. And it gets to the point where they're just getting mad at us. Like, obviously, shoe sizes are all different. You know, I'm trying to tell him, skiing, we want to go skiing. And I think he's just taking piss out of me. He's just laughing. So we're getting frustrated. We finally get these boot things on, you know, really uncomfortable, absolutely killed. The one point where we're trying to get a ski lift, and basically it's this little wooden shack with a woman behind it, sat in dark like that, and everything's in Bulgarian. At the time we were using a phone, and it's got like an auto translate thing, so you'd hold your phone over it and it'd live translate on the screen what it is. Anyway, it weren't working, there were no signal. Basically, I said to this woman, us two, ski lift, up, you know, up the lift to the mountain. The only reason that anyone in the universe is in this place is to go up and down the mountain. And she's just getting so angry. And she just shuts the thing on me. I'm thinking, what the fuck? So we end up just jumping on the ski lift anyway. We don't end up paying. I don't know how we got up, but we got up. We get to the top of the mountain and the views are unbelievable. It was at the back end of like skiing season. And I'm looking around and it's really sunny and you can just see the entire country. And it's freezing cold, but it was just amazing. So we tried to start skiing for the first time, and neither of us have ever been skiing. We've never had any lessons or anything like that. And we're like on this little tiny decline. And I mean, it's like 0.5 degrees. It's almost perfectly flat. So we stood there and we're trying to do the thing. And the only thing that I know about skiing is from the episode of South Park where it's like pizza, French fries, pizza, French fries. So I'm thinking, all right, I've got that. I can ski now. I'm cool. So we're both going, and it gets to the point where your legs just start separating, and oh my god, and I'm on the floor. And then she's going, and she's on the floor, and we just keep doing it. And this tiny little slope, and we just can't do anything. It's the hardest thing. So when I was young, I used to like skateboard and all this kind of stuff, and I had such good control. And I'm like, what? At the time, I was like 23, and neither of us can do it, and it gets embarrassing. And I do pick it up a tiny bit, you know. I kind of like managed to go in a straight line and tense my legs so hard that I stay in a straight line and my legs don't separate. But I just kept catching things. Naturally, you just forget you've got these massive stick things stuck to your feet, and I'm constantly like catching myself and falling over. And we tried for about, I don't know, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And by this time, we got a little bit better. So we thought we'd try a slight slope. So Jess is in front of me, I'm behind, and I bear in mind I've got all this on camera on a GoPro on my head. So we start skiing down this like, you know, fairly decent slope, and we both fall over into this big deep snow. And we sat there freezing cold, piss wet through, just like, we can't do this. His legs are killing, you know, we're really tired. We've gave it a go. If anything, I've come up here for the view, and that's the best thing in the world. And just as we sat there thinking, God, how does anyone in the world do this? A group of like 4 or 5 year olds doing skiing lessons just stroll past us casually. And we sat there like, we're the worst. So yeah, that was the end of it. I think, no, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. So we take his boots off, we hand them back. So after we've given up, we take our skis back to the rental place, and there's a little log cabin at the top of the mountain serving beer. So we just spend the rest of the evening just sat there, drinking cold beer, sat looking over the beautiful, beautiful scenery. And it was stunning. It was absolutely stunning. But yeah, good memories, really good memories. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there because I've got things to do. Over the next 7 days, again, I've got nothing going on. So we'll just see how that pans out. The video this week is my stream from the other day. I tried to beat Super Mario Odyssey in under 1 hour 30. And seeing as my previous record was 2 hours 22, and that was with no practicing or watching videos or tactics or anything like that, I kind of just did the game as quick as I could. I then spent a good 3 hours watching videos while I was working about tactics and which moons to get first and all this kind of stuff. I thought, all right, I'm easily going to smash 1 hour 30. Anyway, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to download the VOD and I'm going to make a short compilation of the worst speedrun attempt ever. So look out for that on YouTube. If you've stuck it out this long, you know, and you're watching to the end, I really appreciate it. If you can just comment something in the thing below, it'd mean a lot. It helps with engagement, you know, and all that kind of shit that YouTube's asking for. It feels a bit scummy asking to... In fact, no, screw that. Comment if you want to comment. Don't if you don't. whatever. Hope you all have a good week, and I will see you all next weekend. Take care.